What's up, guys? Travis Crow here, and I want to share with you my experience to help you improve in your game. Today's podcast is going to be about tilt, how to stay balanced and stay off tilt. And tilt is a poker term. It just means to like get angry and frustrated when you play, or I guess it could have different definitions. Just to be like not playing your A game because of poor results. So, like maybe you lose and it affects your play, or you lose a hand or something. It happens in basketball and other forms of competition. It happens. You get frustrated, and that often leads to your play degrading. So this is very simple. I think we don't need to talk about defining that too much in greater detail. You get it. But interestingly enough, the term tilt actually kind of means like off balance, right? And it's just super interesting because recently I think I've figured out how to solve tilt, and it was actually quite literal and obvious. You solve tilt by staying balanced. And this is something I learned just quite recently after so many years of trying not to get angry when playing and go on tilt. Um, I think I've finally figured it out, and I've gotten better at it over the years at just simply staying chilled out and not going on monkey rage tilt. But it helps just to be in those situations more often, and then you just get used to it. But there's other ways to deal with tilt and things not going your way. And so let me just say what I think I figured out, and what's been working for me a lot lately is when things aren't going your way and you feel like whatever your form of competition is, and if you feel like things aren't going your way, and usually I don't know about for you guys, but when I get tilted is when I'm getting owned. Like if a guy's just destroying me, and I feel like, dude, this guy's so much better than me, and I don't want to admit it. Like I want to make excuses for myself, like, oh, it's just because of this, some insert X luck factor. And while that may or may not be true, there's a solution to kind of make that irrelevant. Whether it's luck, whether he's outplaying you, you can eliminate both of those problems and not sweat it at all, really. And my solution is just to play balanced, to play game theory optimal, GTO. And whether that be poker, basketball, whatever it is, the answer is GTO. And if you think that your opponent is exploiting you and he's owning you, well, then just play GTO. If you think that your opponent's getting lucky on you, well, then just play GTO. It's so comforting, and to know that mathematically, I'm not doing anything wrong, and in the long run, um, I'm either gonna break even or win. So if you think your opponent's exploiting you, well, just play GTO. And if he's trying to exploit you and you're playing GTO, you're winning. Long run, you are winning. If as soon as you try to exploit him, you now become exploitable. So I learned this. It just became crystal clear to me the other day when I was playing this guy, and this guy's playing super aggressive, So I'm trying to adjust and exploit his aggressiveness. And he knew I was going to adjust to his aggressiveness, and he had an adjustment ready for my adjustment. And therefore, he owned me. And he knew I was going to adjust to my adjustment, and then he owned me again. So I kept trying to adjust to his adjustment, and I was always one step behind. So just play fucking GTO and let him try to exploit you while you're just playing GTO. And he's now exploitable. Now he's exploiting himself. He's making mistakes. If you're playing GTO and he's playing super aggressive, well, he's making a mistake. You're exploiting him by not being exploitable. And now that goes for other forms of competition too. Like if a guy keeps leg kicking you and you're like, oh, I'm going to exploit that and go for the takedown. Well, be careful. He might know about your adjustment he's going to make for him throwing so many leg kicks. And he might anticipate that you're going to adjust to his leg kicks and try to exploit his frequent leg kicks by going for a takedown. So he might be waiting for you to tip off your takedown and bam, flying knee or something, knee to your face, and you're knocked out. In basketball, like if you're trying to exploit a guy for going, basketball is a little trickier because people have certain weaknesses that are just like really easy to exploit in basketball. But nonetheless, let's give it a basketball example. If a guy keeps going right and you now what is it called? Shade. I forgot what they call it, but you're blocking his right side drive. He now has a wide open left side to drive left. As soon as you try, that's a much more obvious example. As soon as you try to exploit him, you now become exploitable. So maybe he was faking not having a left-hand drive, and maybe he just blows to the basket. Now, let's not throw exploitative play out the window completely. If there's something so obvious like a guy has no left-hand dribble, well, then by all means, just fucking go for it. But as soon as you start feeling owned, just GTO, just play GTO, game theory optimal. And it's so comforting. Like, okay, this guy can no longer own me. I'm safe. As soon as he gets out of line, he's losing money, or he's losing value of his play. Whatever you want to call it, whatever your form of competition is. That's about it, guys. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.